Games and Wario. Showtime!
Hey, what's up everyone? Marlon here from Games and Wario's channel and GameRum.com. Alright, so this is the highly anticipated comparison video that everyone's been asking about, and it's to compare the two Bowsers, the Super Smash Brothers. One is on the left and the Super Mario one from Mario Party 10 is on the right. Alright, so if I can get a total of 70 likes on this video, then I'll make another one. Alright, so let's start off with the comparison, shall we? Alright, so there's a noticeable difference here. The Super Mario Bowser is a lot more heavier than the Super Smash Brothers one. Okay, so there's a noticeable difference there. Also, to really kickstart everything, the base, the Amiibo coin base right here, as you can see, it's red and this one's black. And on the bottom, it's the same way, it's red and this one's black. Now, I prefer to have the red base than the black base. It's just my preference. I think it looks a lot more brighter and more detailed, especially on the base. There's a difference though, because you can see the coin right here. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the Smash Brothers coin right there on the base, whereas this one is just like a bunch of squares and stuff like that, but I prefer the red base. Alright, so let's continue with the comparison here. Okay, on the back where you can see the shell, because Bowser is a giant turtle after all, so you can see on the right, which is the Super Mario Bowser, that the shell is noticeably bigger than the Super Smash Brothers one. Alright, the spikes are even bigger, and also it's a lot more detailed on the shell. Like, you can see the lines between, you know, like different shapes on his shell. It looks, this looks like more of a real shell than the Super Smash Brothers one. The Super Smash Brothers one looks like it's made out of clay or Play-Doh or something. It's not that detailed, it just looks really bland. Alright, now let's move around to the front here. As you can see, like side by side, you can notice that his head is a lot bigger too. On the Super Mario one, you can see that it's bigger, and his hair is a lot more detailed. Like you know, they put some detail into his hair. It's a lot more longer, and it looks more realistic. Whereas this one is just like stuck up in the air and stuff like that on the Super Smash Brothers one. Also on his mouth, you can see his mouth is a lot more open on the Super Mario one, whereas the Super Smash Brothers one, his mouth is like closed and you can't see inside of his mouth at all. Alright, so let's get down to the body section of Bowser. Okay, you can see right here, I believe this is like on his chest. Yeah, they feel like the same way. Only thing, this one here looks a lot more detail on the Super Smash Brothers one, in my opinion. Alright, let's get down to his body here. Now, there's a noticeable difference. The Super Mario one looks a lot more brighter than the Smash Brothers one. Now, here's where the big difference comes in. Now, on the Super Smash Brothers one, you can see that it's a lot more detail for some reason. This one seemed like it's a little bit washed out, a little bit more bland on the Super Mario one, but the one on the left looks a lot more detailed, even though the colors are dull. But this one, the colors are more vibrant, and it looks like Bowser, you know, himself, like as far as the color and detail. Now let's look at the spike rings around his arm and around his neck. Now there's a noticeable difference. The spike rings are a lot more bigger. Hopefully that's the right term to explain it, but the spike rings are a lot more bigger on his arm and on his neck, whereas this one is a lot more smaller because he is a lot more bigger and heavier. Okay, alright, so yeah, I feel like this Bowser, the Super Mario one, is a lot more better in my opinion. It's a lot more detail that went into this one. He looks more official than this one. Even on his eyebrow, you can see right there that this one is a lot more detailed than this one. So it's a huge difference between the Bowsers, and I feel like if I was gonna pick up a Bowser, I would pick this one up. So for all the Bowser fans out there, I will suggest you picking up the Mario Party 10 Bowser, because he looks more like Bowser in the game than this one is. This one just looks like an actual toy. This one looks like the real Bowser. Alright, so as you can see all the detail, let me put this one down and let me turn him around so you can see all the detail in its glory. You can see the shell, how detailed it is. The spikes are a lot more bigger, and the shell is a lot more detailed, whereas this one looks like a lot more plasticky. You can see on his body, this one looks a little bit more bland, like the surface. This one looks like a lot more detailed and stuff like that. Hopefully you people can see what I'm talking about. But the base, like I said before, this one's red, this one's black. I prefer the Super Mario one, whereas the Smash Brothers one, it just looks like, it looks bland in my opinion. But nevertheless, to conclude the whole thing, if I'm going to pick up a Bowser amiibo, I will pick up the Super Mario one. Whereas Smash Brothers fans are going to say, no, I'm going to get you know, the Smash Brothers one because I'm a huge Smash fan, and that's okay. But I feel like this one looks like a lot more detailed, the Super Mario one. And if you're a huge Bowser fan, I would say to pick this up for collectible reasons, because it looks a lot more detail and a lot more polish on the painting and everything on this one better. All right, so, and I want to talk about the last thing is the tail. All right, now if you look at the tail, this tail on the Super Smash Brothers one looks like really detailed. As you people can see, it looks really detailed, and they both have like 2 spikes at the end of the tail. Now this one, the tail is bigger, but it's downward, and it looks really bland. So again, the skin texture on the Super Mario one looks a lot better, okay? But as far as the color being popping more and looking more vibrant and looks like typical Bowser color, the Super Mario one looks like Bowser more, like as far as skin texture, than the Super Smash Brothers one. So this concludes the comparison video of the 2 Bowser amiibo. Alright, so the one on the left is the Super Smash Brothers, and the one on the right is the Super Mario one. If you enjoyed this comparison video, leave in the comments down below. Let me know what y'all think, and thank y'all so much for the love and for the support. And yeah, if I can get 70 likes on this video, I will make another comparison if you enjoyed it. I think I covered everything that I possibly could cover. And also, if you notice, the last thing I'm going to point out is that even though the arms are like shaped the same way, like as far as this one goes outward a little bit and this one is like more straighter, but if you notice the head, his head, Bowser's head on Super Mario, it's upward, like his head is, he's looking straight at you, whereas this one he's looking downward. But I prefer this Bowser a whole lot more because it looks like typical Bowser in the game. And yeah, I'll pick it up for collectible reasons because his shell looks bigger, the spike is bigger. I mean, he looks like the monster that he is, the king of the Koopas. All right, leave in the comments down below. Let me know what y'all think about the comparison video, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.